Okay, so welcome back. Today we're doing a bit of a university talk. As a very recent graduate and someone going into their third year, I feel like maybe we're in a position of advice giving now.
And wisdom.
So we've got some wisdom on the subject. So we've as per usual, we've had some questions and we're going to answer them, and then we're going to go in at the end and just give some of our advice on what we wish our pre-uni selves had known.
Yeah.
But yeah, perfect timing really with exam results coming out. No, not everyone's very happy. I know it's been a bit of a shit show, to be honest. But it'll work out. It works out for everyone, and you'll end up where you need to be.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Cheers.
Start off with some questions that we got on Instagram. So first one is, was it an easy decision for you to decide to go to uni? Ellie.
Okay, I think we had quite different experiences with this, so maybe we can give two different views.
Even though we were on the same college course, this is how we basically met.
Yeah. So for me, going to university wasn't like even something I really thought about. It was just like happening. I think it depends really on like your family and how you've been brought up. And in my house, it was never really like, oh, do you want to go to university? It was more just like presumed that I would, not in a pushy way.
I feel like a lot of families are like that though.
Yeah, definitely.
I know my family is just not like that.
Yeah, and I think that's where that's where your different views come from. And not in a pushy way, they would have never made me go. Yeah. It just was like, I just always thought I was going. So when it came to the end of college, for me, it was just like natural progression. It was just like
the next stage.
Yeah. In some ways it was good, because now I've just turned 21 and I'm already graduated and done. But I was so young when I first started. I'd literally turned 18 like a month before I started.
Yeah, she was literally born in August.
Yeah, so I was freshly 18 going to university, and thinking back on it, I think I was a bit too young to do it. I'm glad I did now, but because of that I didn't have the best experience, but we'll talk about that later. For you, what was that decision like?
Well, it didn't actually happen until probably 6 months after I finished college.
Yeah.
I felt like I needed to go to uni because of like progression in where like the sector that we want to work in. It literally just made me have like a mini breakdown. I remember it was so bad because I just felt like I needed to go but I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
And there was lots of other things going on in my life that made me not want to go. I was already a year behind everyone else in my year because I'd gone to sixth form, left sixth form, gone to college.
Yeah.
And then that gave me too much, like I got pressure from the fact that all my friends are already at uni and I just still didn't know what the hell I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I left and I ended up getting basically the job that I wanted to get. At where I worked, I progressed. And then I just thought, well, now I've got the job, so what's next? I don't really know what to do. And then I'd visited you in Notts, like we had visited a few unis before, and then I just thought, fuck it, if I'm going to go, I need to go now. So I just applied and I got in and I just went.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, I feel like, even though I was 2 years behind everyone else and that was a bit stressful, it made me so ready to go, and I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, because by the time you moved out into halls, you were so ready to have your own space.
Yeah.
So in that regard, we had completely different experiences. For me, I was going home every weekend, every other weekend.
I really think that 18 is still so young to go and do
really
that.
Young.
Especially when you've never had... There's nothing before that. Like at college or school, they don't teach you anything about how to live your life on your own.
Not, no.
And it's so hard, it is. So if you're feeling stressed about the fact that you're going to uni or you don't know if to go, just
take some time.
Because it's a year is not even that long.
If you're feeling like it's a bit soon, don't pressure yourself.
There were literally people in my halls that were 25. Yeah. It was fun, but I felt like by the end of halls I was so ready to not be in halls.
Yeah. So
for you,
yes.
For me, a roller coaster. Then it was yes.
Yeah.
I'm literally so glad I went though. All I could say for advice to anyone thinking they're not sure, I would say have a year out and then go.
Yeah.
I would really recommend going.
And to anyone that was in my position at like 18, if you feel like you want to go and do it, fine, but just prepare yourself that it's probably not going to be it's not going to be what you think it is, and it's not this big like massive happy family. It is a bit more lonely than that, not to scare anyone off, but you need to be prepared to spend a lot of time with yourself. And if maybe you are someone like me who is only 18, consider going somewhere that's not too far away.
Yeah.
Because for me it was fine, I was an hour away. That's how I did come home so often. But if originally I thought about maybe going to Brighton, that would have been maybe not a good idea for me, because I wouldn't have been able to come home all the time.
No. Because, well, it's nice when, especially some of our friends are still at home, then they can come up so easily and see us.
Yeah, think about that kind of thing.
I felt like I needed to come see you and, like, see you in your uni environment to really picture myself being there. So I know when we went to, like, Central St Martin's, and I had this vision in my head that if I was going to go to uni, I think that's what stressed me out. If I was going to go to uni, I was going to go to London. That was it. I was
Absolutely not.
And I went, and I was like, absolutely not going to.
We walked in, and that open day for us, like, if anyone is watching that went there, or any of the like London colleges, amazing for you. I mean, it's great. But for us, we walked in, and within 5 minutes we were like,
we don't fit in.
We weren't even taking it seriously, were we? For us, it was more of a comedy day, because we were looking around and we were like, this is actually quite humorous.
It's insane. It is insane, because it's just like a different world. It completely is. And I feel like definitely go and visit the unis, because it helps you picture yourself there.
Yeah.
Because obviously, like, you have a vision. I had the vision of me going to Central St Martin's, and I went, and I was like,
nope.
No.
It took less than 2 minutes to know, nope, this is not the place.
That day was such a fail.
It was a bit of a weird day. That was a weird day. But you need to go around, you need to try some different places. To be fair, I only went to 3. I went to Brighton, and I liked it, but it was too artsy farty for me, basically. And
so
then we went
really
to
what we're...
No, it was too artsy. The place is amazing, I loved it, but I was like, no. Then we went to St Martin's, and we were like, nope, absolutely not. We would not thrive here at all. And then we went to Nottingham. We went to the same open day for that, and the vibe was just better.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You felt comfortable, didn't you?
Like, it felt nice.
So go and try it, and different places will suit different people. So you need to give it a go. Go and see where you fit in. Yeah. Should we move on? Yeah, let's move on.
Question. What made you both choose Nottingham? I guess we kind of brushed on that.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
So I'd heard about Nottingham before uni, and I think it's quite a popular place for people from our area to go to, because of its location. It's not too far away. It's not too close to home. It's a very easy commute. Yeah. It's like an hour and 20 minutes up the M1. Simple journey. Not even an hour if it's you.
It's an hour and 20 minutes for you, because you drive like 5 miles per hour.
Well,
but for me, it takes
like an hour.
50 minutes.
Well, anyway, it's a very quick journey, and it's got great nightlife. Yeah. It took going to the open day to know that was the place for me, because I'd never visited before, didn't know anything about the city. But, it's very popular for the people from our area, and it just had the right vibe. Like, I knew I wanted to be in a city, because coming from, like, a town, we're not really used to that city kind of lifestyle, but it wasn't a massive, stressful, pressurising city.
It was, like, still small.
Small enough, but there's enough going on to be exciting, but it's small enough that you feel comfortable and safe.
I feel like, definitely from walking around the city, it's like quite a creative place. Like, there's a lot going on. Like, there's a lot of, the shopping's good. Like, the food places are good. The drink cocktails places, very good. Bars. I feel like in Nottingham there's something for every type of person. Yeah. And you don't all have to like go and do ocean.
Same thing.
Well, if I'm assuming ocean is not a thing everywhere else.
I think most unis have like a society thing. Yeah. So it's like a society night. And it's a specific club that hosts a society night, and it's got a bit of a reputation. Some people love it, some people hate it. We personally don't like it, but we know people that did love it, and they had a great time every single week.
And then they literally are like our friends. Like,
you don't have to all like the same things.
No. As well, it's quite good for like, 'cause before I went to Nottingham, before I applied, I was coming up with my friend to go to like events, and there'd always be something really good on.
Music's good, isn't it?
Which I quite liked.
Everything's within walking distance, or get the tram. So I love it. Like I absolutely
love it. I would
Nottingham.
if the right job came along, I would stay there.
Oh
definitely.
yeah, I see myself being back there at some point in my life. Maybe within the next few years. I don't know. It's pretty central as well, so you could live there and travel to other places. Yeah, I love it. If anyone's struggling in places to go, I do recommend going and visiting. With your parents or your friends, there's stuff for you to all to do.
Even if it's not a uni open day, which I'm assuming they're not really doing them now because of COVID.
You don't need it.
I would just go for like the night and just explore, because there's so many cool places. Like, if you want to know any, just message us.
I was about to say that. Yeah, send any messages. Because we can give you food places.
Yeah, food. I have a big long list.
Yeah.
Food places.
The food is great.
Cocktail places. Yeah. But what do you think about the actual uni rather than just Nottingham?
That's a good point. We're like just talking about the city. I had a great experience with the uni. I loved it. I thought they had all the equipment. I thought they had like. I thought it was great. I think the tutors were good. I'm trying to think back now. I've already kind of got that point in my life.
I remember it was Tim that did the open day, wasn't it?
Oh, I can't remember.
Do you not remember? It was like when we sat in that big thing.
Wasn't it?
Yeah. I remember I went with you. Well, I didn't go with you. I went with my dad. But that was a weird day. Anyway, I went again the next year with my mum, because she was like, right, if you're going to do this, because she was kind of against the fact that I was going to uni, because she was like...
Well, she just wasn't sure, was she?
None of my family have ever been to uni before.
It was the unknown.
So she kind of wanted to make sure it was not, like, crazy. And anyway, I went, and she absolutely loved it. She was like, oh my God, I want to go here.
Well, it's inspiring, isn't it?
Yeah, Tim was quite inspiring.
Listening to the tutors.
Yeah. I feel like it was like, I like the fact that it was like a campus, like everything was all in one place, and like it was like its own little uni village. Like
that's the thing. It's a city campus, so it's a campus, but it's within the city.
Well, as long as you're in the city campus.
Yeah, if you're out on the other campuses, then it is just strictly campus. But that's what I liked about it so much. It's got its own area, but it's an area of the city.
Yeah,
it's not.
It's like 5 minutes from everything.
Yeah, and you'll get anyone that lives in the city walking through and blah blah blah, and it's a part of the city, but it has its own area. So it's really good in that like aspect. It's really like ideal, and all the living areas. What am I trying to say? All the accommodation and halls and everything is all part of that, but it's not like you're at some weird like school trip all the time. Like it's not like that. But I think they have absolutely everything you need, and being in like the art department there is really inspiring. Like
yeah, it is.
There's everything. You've got the business school, and then you've got like, the art department, and to be honest, I don't really know much more than that. I know they got sports over at the other campus.
That's the big building that we never go in. That really cool one.
Right. I don't
go
know what else to
Nottingham.
say.
I feel like we're a bit biased, but
yeah, I think everyone loves, except the people that don't. Everyone loves their uni. People move and don't enjoy it, don't they? But everyone like stands for their uni, and I really do for Nottingham.
Yeah, if you want any
can
advice,
we just specify this is Trent
not
uni of.
Anyway, next question. Advice on making friends if you don't join a society.
I feel like they shouldn't have sent this to us. I'm not going to stand here.
We just hang out with each other. We didn't have any friends.
I know. I'm not going to be preachy about this. I didn't make them, really.
I think I was very lucky to have a really nice flat in first year, because there was 8 of us in the flat, and we were all got on, and we were all really like, we all hung out together. Luckily 2 of them were on my course as well, which made it better. And we just kind of like remained friends, and then we moved into second year and lived together, so that was nice. And
I was really lucky that you were really lucky, because until you came to uni, I was kind of down to it's my own fault. I didn't put myself out there, and I came home too much, and I didn't really do a good job of making friends. So I was lucky that you were lucky that you made friends, because I made friends with them. And that's where my friendship group came from, was your flat, basically. And obviously I did also, I'm being a bit like harsh. I did have course mates.
It's hard because especially when you have course mates, but some of them don't blossom into a full-on friendship that you'd go for a drink with. Like, it's obviously everyone has course friends, but they're not necessarily friends that you would live with, or like, it's hard because, like, where do you cross the boundary of, like, oh, do you want to go for a drink? Are we course friends
or are we friends?
Or should we go for dinner? Like, it's scary.
I think as well, if I'd made those course friends in the first year, that would be different, but I kind of didn't really make them until end of second year, and then third year, yes. But by then they already lived with the people that they wanted to live with, and they already had their established friendship groups, which is fine. And I ended up having a great time and made some good friends in the last year. But as you say, they were more friends that were like, while we're at uni, while we're doing our work. And I do still talk to them, and I would still meet up with them. But, you know, it's just a different kind of dynamic, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what's our advice? I don't really know. Don't do what I did, basically. Put yourself out there. Be brave.
It is so scary, because I know I didn't join a society. I know some people did, but I think the reason I didn't join a society, because it's not my kind of thing for the social side, where they'd go out and drink and basically be naked, and like, obviously people do that. I would love seeing it all. I love seeing these tiny weeny girls and tiny weeny things, but that's just not me. So I think that pushed me out of joining a society, which is kind of sad. But
well, I do think that unfortunately, depending on whether you enjoy it or not, the societies tend to be focused more around the nights out, and not actually what the societies are.
I don't think you really actually do anything with your society.
No, and maybe if they did a bit more, then I'd be more inclined to join. But so my advice would probably be to join one. But then if I don't want to push people into doing that just because they feel like they have to.
I feel like if you like sports, there's so much.
Oh, if you're sporty, join all the sports. They have great community things. They make friends. Most people make incredible friends through sports. So let's give advice for someone like in our position that didn't want to join the societies. Then what should we do?
I think your next kind of thing would either be, hopefully your flat is lovely and nice. I would definitely say don't live in a studio, try to be in a shared flat, like even if it's uni or there's private ones as well. And just try to do stuff with them, and then if not, there's obviously like the flats next door, like underneath, because I've heard people make friends with the people around them. And then it's just a case of, on your course, just be chatty, be confident.
I think another thing is, I mean, you're much better than this at this than me, but going on nights out to places that you like the music, making friends with them, and then when that person's next playing, let's do prees together. That's the way to do it.
I'm quite good at that on a night out. I'll
talk
talk to anyone. Everyone's my friend on a night out.
Well, that's the best thing to do. And if you're going to the same event and you know someone's going to that, why not go together?
Just especially if you're like, just say you're at somewhere that bit like, just say for example Stealth. If we went to Stealth, the people that are there are probably people that you'd get on with, because it's the same sort of music taste.
Absolutely.
I literally would just talk to random people in the smoking area, or like, and I'd get their Instagram, and then we'd just automatically be friends.
Also, why not have a look at like finding a part-time job as well?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I'm so glad I had my job, because it got me out of the flat. Like, that's... I think I would have just been so sad, just sat there doing nothing.
Well, I think
I'm the same as you. I quite like being busy and like doing stuff.
I think that's something I should have done in first year, and I wish I'd found my job that I just left. I wish I'd found that earlier, and I wish I'd found it in first year, because I think it would have really changed my experience, because I would have met friends and I would have been busy. Because in first year, after the first week, I remember looking at my timetable and being like, oh my god, I'm going to be so busy all the time. That's just the first week. The first week is like introduction and like getting you into everything. After the first 2-3 weeks, you're in like 2 hours every 3 days. I mean, that was for our course anyway. I know there is courses that are in 9 to 5 every day. So that sucks to be you. But I thought I'd going to be so busy, and then I literally spent so much time just sat in that flat doing nothing, like I was in a prison cell. It was awful.
And I'd come see you sometimes.
Yeah, and invite your friends up. Go and visit. I didn't really do this, and I should have. I know a lot of people like to go and travel and visit all their different friends at their different unis.
I know it sounds like so much effort, because it just is, but as soon as you're there, it's so much fun, and I wish I did it more.
Get yourself on the train. And do it.
Confidence is key, that's all I can say. I know it's shit, and some people are... I'm quite shy in situations where I don't know anyone, but you just have to like force yourself to be not that person. I know it's hard, but you just have to just pretend you're like playing a game and you're just playing a part and somebody so
really confident,
exotic and confident.
Because the thing is, no one is ever going to be like, oh, what the fuck, why are you talking to me?
They're not.
I love it when people are confident and have conversations with you. It makes you want to be their friend. Like, so yeah, be confident. If you are a sports person, join the society.
Yeah,
if you want to go and have a night out every single Wednesday, go and do that. Amazing, you'll make great friends. But if you don't want to do that, then go and find people in the places that you like.
Yeah.
Whether it's music, whether it's a job, that's where you're going to find your people.
Next. What were your freshers' experiences like?
My freshers' experience was not great. I didn't really have a very good time.
I just feel really bad whenever you talk about your first year.
I think back to myself in first year, and I myself want to like go and give her a hug. Like, it was like a disaster.
You'd like text me and you'd be like, yeah, I'm just alone in my room. I'm like, oh God.
It was like not me. It was like not
No,
me.
You're not that person. It's confusing for me.
That whole first year was just not me as a person. I don't really know. But freshers, for me, I put too much pressure on it. And don't put pressure on yourself, because there's no point. If you end up going out every night and doing all the freshers thing, then that's amazing, and I'm really happy that you got to do that. But don't put pressure on yourself to have to do the whole of freshers, because you will end up
exhausting
hating
and
it.
expensive.
It is expensive. Anyone that's about to go in, unfortunately, I don't think you're going to have the normal freshers experience this year, which is a shame for the people that would enjoy that. So let's pretend Corona wasn't happening.
Yeah.
Don't feel the need to buy yourself a freshers wristband.
Just don't bother.
They're a rip-off, because then you feel like you have to go to each event, which you don't. You can buy them on the door.
Yeah.
People telling you that you can't buy them on the door, bollocks. Ignore
and as well, if you buy the freshers wristband, sometimes you can only do the events it stays, and there's so much more going on than just them. Like, just say you went out on the first night and you realise, this is not for me, like this sort of thing. There's so many other things that are going on that are not like so intense. Like, I know even just in my flat there were people, we went to some different things on different nights, and as well I wouldn't feel so worried about, oh my God, like I need to go to my flat, blah blah blah, because your whole block, your whole halls will go and you'll have a rep and they'll take you. So I wouldn't. And like all the flats kind of mix up and everyone goes and have like prees together anyway.
Yeah, I don't know what I expected, but before you go to uni, it's hard to know what freshers is going to be like. And I remember thinking that the things on that freshers wristband itinerary is all that was happening. I thought that was all that was happening, but actually freshers it's not just the university freshers. Yeah. Every single bar, every single club in your city will be doing something for freshers. Yeah. But, so my first night of freshers was not great. I drank too much trying to be confident, basically. I drank too much because I was scared, and then ended up having a really bad night because I had this bloody devil wristband. Devil freshers wristband, and it has one of those tightening things, and when you tighten it you then can't loosen it, and I stupidly tightened it really tight drunk, which usually would not be an issue, but I was so drunk and I was already quite stressed and quite anxious that day. That just threw me off the cliff. Like, I was hyperventilating. I wanted to get this wristband off, and then everyone around me was telling me not to cut it off because you won't get another one. You've paid for it. You won't be able to get in anywhere. Oh, don't listen to this rubbish. It's nonsense. They don't have a clue what they're on about.
I think for the first 2 nights, I hadn't even enrolled yet because I didn't know you had to. Because I basically was the last person to turn up to the flat because of just how it worked. And then everyone had already gone together and I hadn't gone. And then I didn't even have a student card to get into the thing, and they just let me in. They didn't even care.
Yeah, people are like, you'll never get in. You haven't enrolled, you can't come to uni. It's nonsense. Don't stress.
Don't stress.
Yeah, I ended up at 12:30, which is extremely early, on the phone to my boyfriend, crying. I want to come home. I miss my parents. They'd left me 5 hours earlier. But that was bad. I ended up getting a taxi home with the reps. it was just a disaster. So just don't put pressure on yourself. If you really, really, really are not into any of this stuff, just don't move in until the week after.
Yeah, just have a week off.
You may then struggle to make friends, but don't pressure yourself. If that's not what you're into, don't make yourself do it. What was your experience like? I don't think I came to join you until the week after. So
I can't remember it being... I can't really remember it. I can't remember it being bad, though. I think I had a lot of fun, but... Like, because I'd never really done that before. I wasn't really the sort of person that, like... did that kind of night out, if you know what I mean.
Dressed up as a leopard or something.
Yeah, I never did that. So that was quite fun, but then it kind of made me realise that I didn't like it. You know what I mean? I just preferred to go to like a bar and stuff.
Have cocktails instead. Which, by the way, all the cocktail bars will be doing stuff for freshers.
Yeah.
You don't have to do a night out.
No, you don't have to do a club. You can do a bar.
Or just dinner. Everyone's doing dinner deals. Like,
literally.
It's fine.
I think that's definitely what I prefer to do. And if it came to the end of the week and we just weren't going out anymore, like... It was quite nice because my flat all kind of liked each other and we'd stay in and we had like a Chinese all together and like watched a film
so
and
nice.
Stuff like that. So that was nice. I feel like just be like really with your flat, be like, yeah, let's have a night in, let's have a flat night in, and they'll all say yeah because they all want to do it. It's just like wait for somebody to say it.
Yeah, I think that's a really nice thing to do within the first week. Maybe just have a night where it's just like in with your flatmates, get to know them.
We'd play like stupid games and like Cards of Humanity. Like bring a game. That's always a good one. Everyone loves a good drinking game or like a funny game to play. Yeah. I honestly don't know how you did it because I could not have done that.
Just threw myself in the
deep end.
And
I did feel like sometimes that I'd be in this flat full of people that were like 18, 19, I was 21 and I was a bit like been there, done that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, because they were just fresh, wanting to go on nights out and stuff, and it wasn't really that same excitement for you.
When I was like 19, I did that for like every single Friday, yeah. And then I was just kind of over it.
So yeah, people have different experiences and just don't put pressure on it. And I think also just to be aware that university on a whole, and especially Freshers Week, I don't want to put a downer on it because you could have an incredible experience, but it isn't what it's made out to be. No. It's much more relaxed, it's much more chilled.
I wouldn't book anything, I wouldn't bother with any of that crap. Like, just go, see what's happening on the day. Normally your freshers rep will sort out anyway, you don't have to do anything, and then just go.
I think just be aware that we're not in America, and we don't live in what do they call those houses? Frat houses. We don't live in frat houses, so don't have that as your expectation because that's not what it is. So that's the end of our question section. And I think we're just going to move on to a bit about like what we'd say to our past selves. Yeah. So, yeah.
Ellie, what would you say to your 18-year-old fresh baby self? That's just packing up her car, packing up the car, going off to uni. What would you say?
I would say to her,
I feel like the first advice I would give you, don't stay in those halls that were like a prison.
No. I think if I could go back to that, I would have lived in a different place. I wasn't aware of private accommodation, and I wish I'd known that because you might... Actually, this is a good bit of advice. You might think that private accommodation would be more expensive.
It was not.
Actually, it's usually not. Yours was actually cheaper than some of the university accommodation.
And it was just as nice. It was so. I actually loved it there.
It was nicer.
We had a nice reception and like it's all safe and blah, blah, blah.
So don't think that you have to go through the university at all. Private accommodation is usually just as close, just as cheap, just as nice. So I would have told myself to have a look at the private accommodation. And then I would tell myself not to put so much pressure on going out. And I would also tell myself not to get so upset about moving out of home because you're going to be back every 2 weekends anyway.
And give it 3 years and you're bloody back.
Yeah.
I think I would say to my 18-year-old self...
Yes.
Just chill the fuck out. Literally, it's not that much. It's not that big a deal. Like, whatever happens will happen. And, don't stress out too much because it's... Yeah.
on like a practical note, what would you like tell yourself actually regarding like moving in and like buying things you need and stuff like that?
Don't buy half the shit that you bought.
Yeah.
Literally, all you need is a knife and fork and a spoon, a bowl and a plate,
one
and a
what's that
wok.
called? A pan. A wok.
I just bought a wok because it was also a frying pan, but it's also
everything.
a wok, and it did everything on like a saucepan. That's all you need.
You really don't need all of this stuff. Like I still have stuff, I'm not even joking, in the packaging from first year, like a cheese grater. I mean, I didn't use much cheese.
I used my cheese grater once in like the first week, and I grated my knuckle off, and I fainted, and my flatmates
that's
were
how
just
you
like,
got to know your flatmates so well.
Yeah, I was like, I don't like blood, and they were like, yeah, and then
I was like, no.
I didn't even cut my finger that bad. Well, it was.
It was a bit of a flap, yeah.
It was flapping off. Oh my god, don't know what I was thinking. But I like went against the wall. I was like having a panic attack, and they were like, "You okay?" And I started crying, and I slid down the wall just on the floor, like.
So there you go. Don't buy a cheese grater. They're deathly.
Yeah, not from IKEA. They're really sharp.
Maybe buy a tin opener.
Yeah, because
but we've had one.
I feel like we have one for the whole flat that we all use. I don't even know whose it is.
Also, you really get by. I've been using one person's tin opener this whole year. And
Ellie hasn't even had any tea towels for the whole year.
I didn't buy a singular tea towel for my whole third year, and I never needed it because I just used everyone else's. Which Darcy, if you're watching, I know you get mad when I use your tea towel.
Sorry,
I used it. But yeah, don't buy all this crap. You don't need it. Also, everyone before they're moving into uni is like, oh my god, I'm going to make my room so nice.
I'm going to have plants and fairy lights and
it's going to be gorgeous.
So cute. Your plants will die, you won't look after them, your fairy lights will run out of battery.
And you'll never replace them.
No, and you'll never turn them on anyway.
Yeah.
Get some pics of your friends, stick them on your pin board, that's pretty much all you need. You don't need all this fancy shit.
You don't need all this fancy shit.
Oh, you know what, actually? Buy what we bought, the little sucky hook and a bag. I guess if you got a shared bathroom, that is so good. There's like sucky hook and a bag of all your wash shit. Yeah. Because if you leave it in there, somebody will use it.
Yeah. But so I did have put it in a little bag, and then otherwise, you end up with random bottles of shampoo everywhere in the bottom of the shower.
God, I hate it.
It's just a mess. So just give yourself a little bag with your stuff in. On a little sucky hook. That was one of our best purchases. What was that, like £3 or something?
Not even that. I don't think.
Right, just take yourself to IKEA.
Go to IKEA, and they actually do. I know they do this every September. A package that you pay £40 for, and it has all the shit that you need, and you don't even need to think about anything else.
Just do that then.
Have you not seen it?
No.
I remember seeing it, but then I was like, oh no, I want really pretty things. It's all pink and shit.
Oh, it gets broken anyway.
Oh my god, I don't have any of the plates or bowls from first year.
I've lost half of them. They've been accumulated by other people and just actually disappeared. I used to have 2 plates of each size. Now I've got 1 of each.
Cutlery,
where did it go?
I would recommend cutlery that has a distinctive look, because
I made that mistake.
3 or 4 people in our flat have the same cutlery or very similar
from IKEA.
You can't tell whose is whose.
Yeah,
because it does just get mixed up.
But I had to buy new cutlery every single year because I bought the plain silver cutlery from IKEA, and everyone had it. And in my second year, literally it vanished. It vanished off the face of the planet, and I ended up at the end of the year with maybe 1 fork, 2 spoons, and a knife. And at the start of the year, I had like 6 of each. So I didn't have a clue where they went. I checked everyone's cupboards, everyone's drawers, gone. I think nasty girl that I was talking about in an old video was just secretly putting in the bin. She's like, oops. Any advice to leave people going to uni with?
I would say, if you're not sure if to go, have a year out, then go. If you're going, stop stressing. I know I was YouTubing videos on uni and literally Googling. I would join, there's always a page, a freshers page.
Oh yeah, join the freshers page.
Join the freshers page.
Join your course group chat as well.
Yep, and the freshers page is how I found my flat.
Yes, because you can find the people that you're living with ahead of time, because you can just say, I'm living here, and then they'll comment, oh, me too, and then you can get to know each other before. You had a group chat before you got there, didn't you?
I think that was the best thing that happened before we went, because it made me less stressed, because then we could all talk about things together.
Yeah, when you got there, it wasn't like complete strangers. You had a bit of conversation.
We did know everyone.
What can I say? I just think this is such like a mum thing to say, but just really try and live in the moment and enjoy it, because time flashes by, and all of a sudden you'll be graduated and you'll be thinking, where has that time gone? We'll be back next Thursday with a more fun video, because we're actually going to Nottingham this weekend. It's this weekend, isn't it? We're going this weekend. We're going to
message us on Instagram, comment below, we'll answer anything
like,
about uni.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Please subscribe. Share. Everything.
All the things, all the buttons.
And all of them.
Wait at the end, and we put little links to our last video, the subscribe button, and then the like is down below.
Okay, and we'll see you next week. So goodbye. Yes.